Hello, I'm Julia. Welcome to my garden. It is... oh gosh, what day is it? It's Monday the 11th of May. The eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that I've recently changed my channel name, and I have done that for a very good reason. To me, it's a very good reason. When I initially set up my YouTube channel, it was going to be not just gardening, it was going to be a bit of crafty stuff as well, you know, like crocheting, sewing, pottery, the other things that I do when I'm not in the garden. But as a channel goes, I think the gardening fills it enough, and I'll probably eventually set up another channel to do the other things. This channel I'm going to keep completely as gardening. So that's why the name change, and I wanted to keep it dead simple. Julia's Gardening Diary, because it is my diary of my garden and how far we have come and how far we want to go with it. And there's a lot to do. There's years of work to do here, so plenty to keep me going. That's why I changed my name. I wanted the channel name to reflect the content more clearly. And now we'll have a look at the tomatoes that I grow, and I'll talk about why I've got so many similar varieties. 'Cause I really like, you know, the ridged tomatoes that are a decent size. And the RAF one that I grew last year was absolutely delicious. So I'm going for different varieties of tomatoes that are similar in appearance to each other, because I want to find out which one has the best flavour. Or if they all have individual flavours that are all equally good, that would be good to find out as well. So I'll show you which one of those plants I'm going to do that with, that I am doing that with. My greenhouse looks like a sunflower sanctuary. Do you want to have a look before we go into the polytunnel? I guess I'd better show you. Yeah, it's definitely a sunflower sanctuary. Bear with me a moment, I'll get you off the stand. We'll have a quick look at what's going on in here. Well, at the sunflowers. These have all started to go out to start hardening off, and a couple of them have decided life is too much, they need to lay down a bit. But that's okay, I'll get a little stake in them and sort them out, they'll be fine. And I'm going to try and do this without moving around too much. So there's a mixture everywhere now of different sorts of sunflowers. They're all mixed up together, but they are all labelled. And I would say that this sunflower sanctuary is pretty full. Anyway you look, there's sunflowers. Bear with me, coming back round. There's quite a lot of dahlias going on as well. I've been taking cuttings from those this morning, making new plants. I'm very happy to report that I've got quite a lot of those as well. It's a tray that I did last. These Borotto beans, I wasn't going to grow these because I don't really like growing dwarf French beans. I found them, what's the word? A bit of a waste of space in my raised beds. I prefer to go for the tall ones that will climb up and over the arches. However, I've got some pots that hang over the fence that last year I put some geraniums in. This year I'm going to grow these in them and hang them over the fence and see what happens. So I'm going to sow those into some little pots in a moment. That's all the dahlia cuttings, which are coming along nicely. The Karma Choc ones that I got that I was really worried weren't going to actually grow very much. They're actually doing really well. And there, we've got lots of plants growing there. Above them, a couple of tomato suckers. And one of those is going to be the tomato in a bottle challenge. I'm just waiting to make sure they're well established with the roots before I do that. I've got a little pot of lettuce, I'm waiting for them to germinate. There are 6 pots of turnip seedlings that will grow out cluster sown, you know, in the clump. sorry about the camera work. 2 little pots, 2 weeks apart, of spring onions. Like I said before, I don't use a lot of spring onions, so doing it that way, just sowing a little pot every 2 weeks, works well for us. The bubble wrap greenhouse is currently empty, and that is because everything's outside hardening off. I have not put the beans out today hardening off, and I've not put the sunflowers out hardening off today. There's more sunflowers because it's a bit windy at times. It seems to be coming in gusts. And that's all the beans, different sorts of beans. There are 3 varieties there of beans and another 2 varieties up there of beans. And I've got the Greek Gigantes and Costa Violette Necker Gold outside. They are hardening off because they've been out a couple of times before. And Big Max is also out there hardening off. I want to show you something exciting with Big Max. Yay! Let's have a look. The exciting thing about Big Max, we're gonna have a baby. Gotta wait for the flower to open, and then hopefully at the same time there'll be a male flower open, and we'll get it fertilised. If the bugs don't do it, we'll do it by human intervention. That is exciting. Tomatoes. As you know, I'm growing quite a lot of tomatoes this year, and I thought we'd go through the varieties that I am growing and why I'm growing some of them that are so similar to each other. This Costoluto Fiorentino is one of the tomato varieties that I'm growing that I have other similar type of tomatoes growing as well that I want to do the taste test with. So I've got 3 plants of fine, healthy looking Costoluto Fiorentinos there. They're doing quite well. They're about 2 feet high now, and they were teeny weeny when I put them in a few weeks ago. This one here, that one, is a Midnight Black. I can't remember whether it's Midnight Black or Midnight Snack. I have a feeling it's Midnight Snack, and I've labelled everything Midnight Black, but I'll know what I mean when I come to double check everything later on. And that's doing very well. Nice looking little tomato plant. And this one here is Indigo Cherry, which is a cherry tomato that is very, very dark, and I think I like the umami, the savouriness of the tomatoes, the dark tomatoes. I think I quite like that, because I really loved the Black Russian tomatoes last year and didn't really get very many, so I'm trying a few different types of very dark tomatoes. These are Yellow Delight, and they are a cherry, small cherry tomato, yellow, sweet, lovely. This one is a mystery tomato. It had no label, so of course I had to grow it. And it's still a little yellow just at the very tips of the leaves, but it's had a foliar spray of Epsom salts, and also a spray at the roots as well. And it is getting much better. Yeah, it is getting much better. We have a few Romas sort of spaced out. There's a couple here, and there's a couple down at the far end over there. And as you know from last year, they're a valuable tomato for freezing to make sauces with through the winter. These are more Midnight Black or Midnight Snack, 3 of them. Doing fine. In flower, that one. So I'm hoping it'll set fruits. Certainly been getting tickled. And that over there, the littler one at the back, is Marmande, and 2 more Marmandes, which are doing really well. The one at the back's a little smaller, but that's okay, I'm sure it'll catch up. And they've got some pretty good buds coming on them as well. You see how the plants are starting to get twisted around their strings now to give them that little bit of support that they need. The cordon ones are anyway. And then around the arch, at the base of the arch, there are 2 Black Russians, and there's another Black Russian at the back. I think I've got about 7 Black Russian plants in because I love them. And then on the other 2 on the arch are Tigerella. Okay, coming past the Black Russian plantation. Still here, Black Russians. This one's Roma at the front, looking very fine. Sun Golds. The one at the back's a whopper. These Sun Golds are looking really good. And these are a plant. They're a tomato. Well, just bear with me a second while we tickle that tomato. Sun Gold are a tomato where people seem to either love them or hate them, and I'm not sure which one I am. So I'm going to find out. So I've just got 3 plants of Sun Gold. At the back, yellow currant, also in flower. Has already been tickled this morning. 2 plants of yellow currant. And then a yellow pear at the back. An ox heart and an ox heart. Now this ox heart here went a little funny. The plant seemed fairly healthy enough, but the very top of it just drooped, and it looks like that one's doing the same, and I'm not sure why. But I let a sucker grow, and the sucker seems much stronger, so I'm letting that grow, and in the next day or 2 I'll take that leaf off because it's trailing on the floor, and just let the sucker grow away and take over completely. And I think I'm going to be doing the same on that ox heart as well if it goes the same way. Peculiar that, isn't it? Maybe it's just not quite warm enough in here for that particular variety. But then again, the sucker's growing much stronger. Who knows? Who knows? That's another Roma, which is also doing well. Looks like it needs a little foliar spray of Epsom salts, but nothing major. Looks okay actually, not bad. Moving around this side, we've got another yellow pear in the back corner there, which is looking stronger than the other one that was over here. It's also looking like it's got quite a significant sucker growing near the top, so we'll get that out later on. And then 2 red currant plants. On the labelling, when I bought the red currant and the yellow currant plants, they were described as semi-wild, indeterminate tomatoes. And they are semi-wild. They do throw off an awful lot of side shoots and things. And when I saw them being grown at Malvern, they seem to have allowed some of those some of the suckers to grow on. So I think I might do that. I think maybe with the red currants I'll do that, let the suckers grow on, some of them, not all of them. And with the yellow currants at the back there, I'll cordon them. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so in front of that red currant that is centred there, there is a rogue marmande. Not sure at all why it's here. I seem to have the odd rogue one going on. But it's looking healthy and strong and happy there, so it's staying. And then these 2 incredibly healthy looking Pomodoro San Marzano 2. And obviously they're a bush tomato, so they get all their suckers left on. I do though take, can you see this lower leaf where it's going to be trailing on the floor soon? I do take those off, but I do not take the suckers off because the plant needs them. They're a bush. At the back here we have got a golden sunrise, which is another plum tomato, and I grew that last year and they were delicious, really sweet. Ailsa Craig, I know, a standard tomato, but I've never grown it before. So this year, while I'm doing my big grow it all sort of thing, I thought I'd give it a go. That's got a few suckers on it need to come off. You won't believe I do this desuckering almost every day, would you? And this little Ailsa Craig down here in front of the basil is the one, do you remember? Oh, look at that, it's got slug slime on it. Snail trail or something. So I will, given that it's got snail trail on it, I'll take this leaf off now, because the sucker that I left to grow on, I don't know if I can see you very clearly, is a nice strong sucker now. So I can take this lower leaf off from the original plant and just let the sucker take over. Especially if that snail's trying to get its way up there. I bet it's hiding underneath this tray full of butternut squash and whatever else it was. Oh, there's some sunburst squash in there as well. Nothing's showing in there yet. What date did I do them? Did I put a date on? I'm not sure. No, I didn't. There'll be in my diary in the house, the date. We'll see what... They weren't great last year. We'll see how they go this year. I've got some hawk butternut squashes, which are a smaller variety, but they'll do, if nothing else. Okay, here we have another lovely looking Samarano, about to burst into flower. Wonderful. And you can see on this one, I've already trimmed some of the leaf off when it was a bit younger, because it was trailing down onto the path. I didn't want to stress the plant too much, but I keep standing on it. So there, we took that off. So I will do that on the bush tomatoes. I will remove some of the lower leaves, just so they're not trailing around on the dirt and introducing disease into the plants. But also, it also helps to let the air through. But I'll never take the suckers off. That's the Ailsa Craig's Raff, the tomato of tomatoes at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. So 1, 2, 3. There was 4, but I killed it. But I've got a sucker in the greenhouse rooting, so that'll get replaced with that. And then there's 5 and 6. And that's also in flower. It's got a massive cat face flower on it, so we might have a monster one off that. That'll be fun. I know some people say to, sorry, I was just fiddling with the leaves on this Sun Baby. See, 2 Sun Babies. I nearly forgot the Sun Babies. They're a really nice tomato. They were lovely last year as well. A small golden cherry tomato. Lovely. The Raff, yes, I was saying, wasn't I? Huge cat face flower on it. I'll show you in just a moment. And I know a lot of people say remove them, but I quite enjoy the fun of that first tomato that's massive. And they only really seem to do it on the first one on a truss, which is quite good, because the rest of the tomatoes are just pretty much normal sizes. And then what have we got down there? Oh, can't remember. We'll have to go and have a look, won't we? These are 4 plants of Costoluto Genovese. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is another variety where I'm doing the taste test, and look, we've got first flower out on that there. Magnificent. So another one of the ridged tomatoes that I'm doing the taste experiment with. See which one I like the best, and then if I like them all, I'll grow them all. If I like one above the others, I'll grow that one. And then in the back, last but absolutely certainly not the least, 3 Ildi plants. 1, 2, 3. And they're doing incredibly well as well, looking very healthy. Don't think any flower trusses on those yet. No, they're a little bit behind the others, but that's okay. Some of them get ahead quicker than others, don't they? So I'd say, oh yeah, of course, in the baskets, let's not forget our tumbling toms. We've got 4 baskets with tumbling toms, and some of the plants are doing better than others, but they're starting to fill out a bit now. See, this one, this plant here at the front is a little yellow, but its new growth is green. So I'll give it another little spritz with the Epsom salt spray, and we'll see how we go on. And that one's looking lovely. Let me see. So those are all tumbling toms. Why, you might ask, did I grow so many tumbling toms? Well, I'll tell you why I grew so many tumbling toms. It's because my sister wanted some. And I said, I'll grow them for you. And I bought the seeds. And she was in Goa at the time that I sowed the seeds. And I sent her a message saying, don't worry, you don't have to buy your tumbling toms. I've got them going for you. And then we got locked down. So I've not been able to give them to her. So I'll grow them on as best I can. See how we go, and I'll just have to share the fruits with her. But I think since then she's managed to get hold of a couple of plants from somewhere, I'm not sure where. So we'll have a lot of tumbling tom-toms as well. Tumbling tom-toms. Something that's a little bit unique, I think, to the Black Russian tomatoes is that they set out their flower buds and the truss ends in a leaf. Can you see? There's the flower truss with the flower on it, and it continues and puts leaves at the end of the flower truss. I found that out last year, and at first I thought, what's going on? I've got a mutant tomato. But they're not mutants, it's just what they do. Okay, beautiful cat-faced flower. Here we go. Let's see if we can get in. There it is. That looks like it might be 2 or 3 flowers joined together. You can get huge ones that join 4 or 5 together. But that's just a smaller one. So we'll see how it goes. The polytunnel is certainly starting to look like it's going to produce a goodly crop of tomatoes. And peppers. I've not touched on the peppers yet, have I? Only briefly, I think, in one of the videos. We'll get to those. Tomatoes are priority really at the moment. Tell you what, the aubergines still look leggy, but better. As you can see, they're all strung up. I've even strung up some of the San Marzano ones, the pomodoros, because they looked like they were going to need a bit of support up the centre. So I thought, let's go ahead and stick a string in. I've still got a couple more San Marzanos to do that too. There's some nice sights in here now. It's coming together, isn't it? They're huge. I can't believe it. It's only the 11th of May and they're huge. They're doing really well. Everything's working out well in here. Wonderful. I think I'm watering in here probably twice a week at the moment. And now that some of these ones that are getting flowers on, I'll start using the watering can with a tomato feed in it. It's lovely to sit in here and see everything growing. Mind you, it can get a bit hot, but not today. Today's a cooler day outside. It went down to 1 degree outside last night. But I had the heater on in here, so everything was okay. What I don't like doing is sitting in here and hearing all the bugs that have managed to make their way in. They have not yet found their way to the yellow squares. There are 3 of them. There's another one in the middle there, but it's sideways on. They have been catching bugs, those things, but not all of them yet. It sounds like it's raining. Just pitter-patter, 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 pitter-patter above my head at the moment. But I'm going to go out and hopefully they'll find their way to those yellow squares. Just going to leave you for a moment with a view down my polytunnel without me saying anything. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Hope I'll see you again next time. See you soon. Bye.